online with Amber the Internet Guy. Stream it today on your favorite podcast platforms. This podcast focuses on entrepreneurs and business owners, helping them become more successful in conducting their business on the web without being stuck with technology, getting a headache, pulling their hairs out, or buying expensive software.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of our mini-series, Web Tips for Entrepreneurs and Business Owners. So in the past 3 episodes, we've discussed how to choose your domain, how to choose the right domain name, and how to choose your hosting. And we've discussed how to choose between different web builders. And of course, as expected, I was biased towards WordPress, but I also explained to everyone here why I think that WordPress is superior than the other competitors, the other competitive website builders and page builders. And I've given you the pros and cons of every method or every builder there on the market. So today we want to discuss something extremely important. So now, if you've decided to use WordPress to build your website, your next step, your next logical step is to choose the theme. So in this episode, I'm going to show you and I'm going to discuss with you how to choose the theme. But before we do that, we need to understand what a theme is. So if I am to simplify it in my own terms, I would say it's like the frame. So you know if you have a picture on the wall and then you have the frame, and then if you bought the frame first, now your picture that's going to go in that frame has to be completely contained by the frame. Like you can't, in order to have the picture fully in the frame and in order to have it look proper and look as intended, you have to actually have the picture within the frame. So it's like a container of the picture. So I think of the theme as the container or the bucket that carries everything on your web pages in it. There are some mix-ups that people sometimes mix between a theme and a template. So we'll get to that like very soon in this episode, but let's just focus on the word theme for now. So what does it do? What's this frame do? Basically, it's in charge of your front end, the stuff that people see on your website. So your website has a front end, which is what the visitors see, and the back end, which is what you use in order to create what the people see. So you use the back end to create the pages that display on the front end, and also you use the back end to install and activate your plugins, as we discussed plugins in the previous video. And you see the back end, but people don't see that. People only see the front end. So the theme is what controls the front end. If you see here, this is my company's website. So I'm not logged in as a user now or as an administrator now. So this is the front end. So this is what people see. And this is what I've created as the website for my business, right? And let me show you, if you ask AI, so I've asked Google Gemini, what's a WordPress theme? So AI is telling me a WordPress theme is a collection of files that determines the visual design and the overall layout of WordPress website. It controls how your site looks to visitors, including the elements like colors, fonts, headers, footers, and page layouts. Themes allow you to change the appearance of your website without altering its core content or functionality. So let's just stop and pause here for a while. What does that mean? This means that you can change your theme, so you can completely overhaul the look and feel of your website without changing the actual functionality. So if you have a form on your website that when people fill, this form sends you an email, that doesn't matter. The theme doesn't control that. That's part of the functionality, which is more of a back-end job. If you have another form that people click to subscribe to your mailing list, it doesn't get really affected by the theme or which theme you use. The functionality of the form, which means the subscription operation itself, But the look and feel of the form and how the fields will look and how big they are, what color is the background of the field or whatever, that comes from the theme. So if I go back to my website and let's just check any of the forms that we have here. Let's say contact form, so contact. And excuse me, when I'm actually recording my screen and I click on anything, it's a little bit slower than normal. So this look and feel, like how these fields look, and when I click the mouse and you see the color changes here, like this bit of interactivity comes from the theme. This is basically, in a nutshell, what a theme does. There's a little bit here of course, AI wants to give you everything about the theme. And again, I asked AI, why do I need one? Why do I need a theme? Do I always need a theme for WordPress? Yes, you need a WordPress theme because it's fundamental design layer. It's the fundamental design layer of your website. Without one, your site would be a collection of unformatted text and images. It wouldn't be a functional, visually appealing website. So basically, without a theme, you can, like when you install WordPress, I mean, it is not without a theme, but it comes with its own theme, which doesn't have much of a look and feel. It's kind of primitive, and you can use the theme that comes with WordPress itself, like the automatic one that comes with it, which is now in 2025, it will be called 2025. And you can use it to a certain extent with a little bit of work and make the website look really good and visually appealing. But it is much harder to work with the WordPress like built-in themes that come from WordPress itself because they need a lot of work. So most of the time people go and buy a theme. Now, before I show you stuff, and let me apologize for those of you who are listening to this podcast because you're not going to be able to see my screen, but I'll try to explain things in a way that makes sense to you as well when you're not looking at a screen. But also, let me remind you that if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, you'll be able to see everything as it's intended. So I asked, why do I need one? And AI answered me, but more, I wanted to ask AI, what's the difference between a theme and a template? And in my opinion, before I show you what AI said, a template is something that can control one page, one specific page. A theme is what controls the visual look and feel of your website, the whole website. So you can have a theme and a template at the same time. So you can have one main theme and it makes all your pages look kind of similar, so it follows your own business branding. But you can also have a different template for things like for your blog, for example. You want your blog pages or your posts to look a little bit different from, let's say, your services page or your home page. So here's my website again. And if I go to resources, which is my blog basically, let me click on all resources, and you'll see that the look will be similar and will still maintain the branding of my company, but the page itself will look a little bit different from a regular home page or services page. That's because this page is the blog page, and it's actually showing you these tiles here. Each one of them is a post. So if you click on any of these tiles, it will take you to the relevant post itself. And then you'll see also that I have another template. So this is the template for the blog page that shows all the posts or many of the posts together on one page. And then this is the template that I have for the actual post. So it will be reading the full post here. And that's the template that controls it too. So the template is working as part of the theme, but I can use different templates on specific pages as needed. If I go to the testimonials page, for example, you'll see that it looks a bit different as well from my home page. So you see now you don't have the black background. It's kind of a different, and you can use the theme itself to create your templates. You don't have to buy templates. The theme can create different templates for you, and many of the themes, as I will show you now shortly, have templates that you can download and use right out of the box. So how do I choose my theme? This is a very, very important question. Why? Because themes are actually developed by third parties. They're not coming directly from WordPress organization itself. So themes are mostly not open source. There are things that you buy. There are, of course, many free themes, and most of the times the free themes would advertise themselves on the page. So they'll let you download and use the theme for free. But if you scroll down, like for example here, where this says website created and maintained by us, of course, yeah, it will then, instead of showing your own disclaimer, it will be showing an ad for the theme creator themselves. And if you remove it, the theme may stop working, right? So they're giving you this theme for free in exchange of having a link to their own website at the bottom of the theme. So they get some SEO visits from people who come on your website. So most of the times you need to buy the theme. The lucky thing is that the good thing is that themes are not expensive. So let's have a look. Here's one marketplace that many people go to buy their themes. It's called ThemeForest. So many designers use it, and so many people building their websites who are not designers use it too. And it's one of the most well-known and one of the biggest marketplaces for WordPress themes on the internet today. And it's one of the most known and biggest marketplaces for WordPress themes on the internet today. So let's have a quick look there. So all what I did, I came to themeforest.net, and then I clicked on WordPress here, and then I clicked on popular themes, and then it will start showing me some of the popular themes that they have. And as you see here, they're like 59, 69 US dollars, 60, 39. I think the most expensive theme I've seen on ThemeForest was about $100 or $99. I've never seen any regular theme here that is more than $100. So if you're new and you're building your WordPress for the first time and you find yourself here on ThemeForest or Envato Marketplace, just look around first before you settle. Don't just look for something that looks good, but also read the comments. So let's go, for example, let me go to some of the themes that I've seen people using recently. For example, business theme. So this is the page. So look around, you have the reviews. So you have 7,000 reviews, 7K reviews, and the average rating out of the 7,000 reviews is 4.8. So that's pretty good, 4.8 out of 5. You can look at the reviews, right? And see how they're rating customer support, code quality, design quality. You want good customer support. Like if you're building your website on your own and you're doing this for the first time, you want to have somewhere where if things are not working as intended, you can send an email and they can get back to you and fix the things that are not working or give you an update, right? So you want that. And then you see here there's a comment section where it has 19K. And so basically you are not allowed to leave a review unless you purchased the theme already, which makes sense because how can you review something that you haven't bought and you haven't worked with, right? But the comments is mostly people asking questions before buying. And as you see, they reply. So you see about one day ago, somebody said everyone needs to see these videos. They're amazing. I think they're videos about the theme, right? And then they put in a suggestion. A better solution would be to add fields, blah, 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 right? And then they responded right away. Please send us a private message through the contact form, which is on the right side at here, right? and then we'll gladly assist you. So they just do respond to people questions and suggestions because it's important for them, it's important for their business. They show you that they're involved, they're always updating their their themes, and they're always caring for people, even people who didn't yet buy the theme. Now let's have a look here, item details, and let me see the live preview. So I'm going to click on the live preview. It will show you what you can do with this theme. I hate all these cookie stuff things. Like, to me, I find it annoying. I know it's required by law, but as a regular user, I find that this is too much annoyance, right? I don't really think many people even want to know what a cookie is. Anyway, let's not digress. So this is a page that they did using their own theme. This is what it looks like, right? So of course they'll be using their theme for their own website, right? But then it will give you theme options, beginners and professionals, and it will show you what can be done with the theme, right? So all this, like the count up or count down number that goes on websites and says, hey, we've got 8,000 customers rated our support. And then you see all these numbers quickly turning, and all these moving reviews. So this is actually nice. I like how it's moving slowly. So it's giving you, this is a nice, really nice review section, guys. To be honest, like, I've never designed something that moves this way, like this slow, and has more than 3 cards on it. Usually on the websites that I created, including mine, I would put 3 or 4 reviews and then give you an arrow. When you click the arrow, you can see more. I've seen this on some sites, and I think I kind of like how slow it's going. So it is moving, it's creating some kind of an effect, but it's also giving you enough time to read what's in the reviews. That's pretty cool. And then this is like, here you get like 3 columns, and in each column you can have some items and whatever. So that's an idea. Now, if you're here and you're trying to select the right theme for you, I'd also look for how long has this theme maker group or company or individual have been in business, right? So there are things, these are information about the theme itself. It says Gutenberg optimized. Gutenberg is a built-in builder that comes with WordPress. It's native to WordPress. It's not something you download. It's not something that comes with the theme, but it tells you that the theme itself is built, optimized for Gutenberg. So you'll be using Gutenberg if you're buying and using this theme, right? And it gives you an idea about the documentation. It says it's well documented. And then if I go, the theme maker here is called Muffin Group. I'll view portfolio. It should give me some more information about them, right? And I want to find out how long they've been developing. Hello, we're Muffin Group. Here, up there, they're a member since December 2011. So they've been developing stuff on this marketplace. Perhaps they've only been developing their B theme, or maybe they're doing B theme and some other stuff with it, other themes, other plugins. But it tells me that they've been around for a long time, which is pretty cool, right? You don't want, so here's the thing. People come here to the market. Guys, this is a marketplace. This is a themes marketplace. So the stuff that you see here on ThemeForest isn't actually done by ThemeForest. ThemeForest is like, I don't know, like a farmer's market for WordPress themes. So what they do, they just have the space for all the different farmers to come and show you their products. It's pretty much the same idea. So they're not responsible for the quality of the product that you buy, because you're buying from the individual that you're buying from. They're just facilitating, that transaction. And if, of course, if there's like a major problem and the person you bought from is not helping you, You can write to them and see if their customer support can interfere and help you. But all in all, it's just a marketplace. They're not responsible for the stuff that you buy from there because you're buying from individual people. So when you're choosing your theme, choose wisely. Don't just go on and choose just based on how the theme looks and how it will make your page or your website look. Look for things as I said, how many comments was the rating, how many sales, how many times have this been sold. And I think you can filter down here and I think you can sort the results in a way. So let me just click on WordPress without clicking on the word popular themes. And then here it will give me, if I want corporate, technology, creative, retail, nonprofit, like what's my industry, right? And I can either browse or I can like browse the new ones or show more or just click on one of them. Well, I'll say browse bestsellers. And then let's see how it's categorized. So here it's categorized by bestsellers, right? And if you look, for example, the number one selling theme for ThemeForest right now is the theme called Avada. And it's got about, is that million? I think it's got 1 million. Not sure. Is it 1 million sales? Yeah, I think it's 1 million sales. Wow. That's pretty good, actually. And then the next one, which is the 7, it's got 327,000 sales. Right? This one is last updated. So the last update that this theme received was 26 August 25. And this one was updated 2 days ago, the 7. Right? And then the B theme that we were looking at now just comes in the third place at 325,000 sales, and it was updated yesterday. So in my thought process, I would think that these would be popular for a reason. Like they will not be selling as much and they will not be getting all these good reviews if they were not doing something right. Let's just have a quick look here. I think I have a client who I'm doing maintenance for, who I did not build a website for, but their website is built on Avada, and I'd worked with it like for some time through that client. So if you look here, its reviews is 4.7. If you remember when we were in the B theme, the reviews were 4.8. So the B theme had like slightly better reviews. And there you had 19,000 comments. Here you have 39,000 comments. This theme is made by Theme Fusion. So if you look at Theme Fusion, they've been here since March 2012. So 13 years as well. So they're like all, I think the top 3 that they have there are pretty good. So here's method number 1 for how to choose the right theme for your business. And as I showed you here, you can look at the theme. Every one of them will have a live preview for you to show you how some of the pages that they have created and you can also create using their theme. And you'll see some of the functionalities. Like here you see the moving text that looks like a typewriter. And then how you have like kind of 3 columns, and then when you hover your mouse over each one of the 3 columns, you see like this little animation that makes the picture kind of move a little based on your mouse hover. Yeah, I need to relearn my English. And then they give you a little bits and pieces about how their website builders work and so on and so forth. Now, there is another page builder that has its own themes that's quite famous and popular. It's called Elementor. And this is the Elementor's own website. So it takes you to elementor.com and they give you like a quick preview on how their theme works. And this is their page builder, which works as drag and drop. Pretty much all the page builder these days are drag and drop. Every single one of them is drag and drop. Even all the platforms that we discussed in our past video are drag and drop, right? And many people, and I have a few clients also who are maintenance clients, who I'm doing the back end and security and periodic maintenance for, like once or twice a week. I get into their website and I back up the website and I apply all the updates that are needed for the plugins or for the plugins and the theme, and as well as if there's a new WordPress version, and I'll test everything, make sure that it's working before finishing the update. And many of them are using Elementor. Personally, I don't like using Elementor very much. I don't know. I get lost in it, to be honest. There's like too many options to work with, and I don't like the fact that the menu is on the left, and if I need to change anything on the page, I have to click. Let's say I want to switch this image, this table image, for example. If I'm using Elementor, I'm gonna have to click on the table image itself, and then it's gone now. Click on the table image and then go back on the left here and then decide what I want to do with the image. And that to me is like, I don't know, cumbersome. So as we've seen, number one, you look at the developer's reputation. So you come here, you look at the reviews, how many reviews, for example, 26,000 here, 9,000 there, 7,000 there. And then you look at the sales, which will give you an idea about how many copies of the theme that you're looking at have been sold. And then number two, you click and you see how responsive they are and what's the actual rating. Because like from what I'm seeing here, they all look like they're 5 stars, right? Like 5, 5, 5, 5. But then if you look, you click on the first one and you go inside and it will tell you that it's 4.78. And then the next one is, let me just open them in new tabs here so that we'll look at them. This one 4.76 and this one is 4.82. So although anybody who's got more than 4.5 is a good one, there are differences. So you need to look at the reviews. And then number three, you look at if they're answering their comments and their reviews or not. So if you go to any of them, you look at the reviews here, see if they had any response. Yes, they did respond. These guys did respond 4 days ago. If I go to these, click on reviews, and I look at, yes, they did respond like 8 days ago, and so on. And you also look at the comments. For me, the comments here on ThemeForest.net is very important because it means they're answering the questions that people are leaving. Because these people are thinking about buying the theme, but they have a question that they want answered. And yeah, they did respond. These guys did respond like an hour ago. Let's look at here. The other ones, 18 hours ago, they did respond. Yes, and so on. So yeah, so look at the reviews as well as how responsive they are to the clients and the leads and people asking questions. And the last thing, look at when they did update their theme. If there's a recent update, you can tell that they're constantly updating stuff and constantly working on making their theme better, which is a positive sign. And as well, you have to look at how long they've been doing it. So you click on the details here and you go and you see how long they've been. You look, just go and yeah, here you find the name by. So you got the theme name. For example, right now I'm looking at Avada and it's by Theme Fusion. So I'm going to click on Theme Fusion here and it will give me a little bit more information about them. And certainly it will tell me that they've been there since March 2012. And you can look at more information down here, their portfolio and stuff. And sometimes they even put their story in here. But at least you found the information right away. So the reputation of the developer, if they're responding or not, if they're updating frequently, and lastly, how long they've been doing it. Thank you, and see you in the next one.